Okay, it's going to be a hit or miss videotape because the projector's not working.
That's fine.
Do you know? Muhammad Ali played a trick on somebody. Okay, something very similar to that. Because you sitting in a chair and some, I don't remember what it was. Somehow he pretended that he was totally out of his mind, and they sit there and Margaret was swinging at the head.
I won $140 way back in 1964, I guess. When Ali beat Lissa in the first fight, because Lissa was going to kill me.
Yeah.
7-1 odds.
Whoa.
And I took Ali. In fact, his name was Clay. And bet $20. That's a lot of money back. I won. In the military, you bet on anything.
G-Man.
Like what was the movie? Casablanca, where they arrested the guy. Casablanca, they arrested the guy because he bet on everything, and he was in the police car and it was raining. He said, "You see that raindrop? You see that raindrop?" He bet the police that arrested him that raindrop beat the other one down on the face. Hit that on anything.
That's like, I mean, audited by the hour.
Yeah.
Always be. And so you lawyer with him. And the guy says, well, it shows right here that you showing a loss of $75,000.
What about the way to turn that one on, so that no signal doesn't wait?
He said, I'll tell you
Well,
what,
as soon as I get this on.
he said, I bet you $5,000,
I'd
right?
help you if I knew where to do it without doing the field trick, hold the hands and turn it off.
And never get a drop.
Whole lot of people up there.
That's impossible. He's right, but this one I could. He bet.
But it's not supposed to be on, it's supposed to be hooked up, turn it on, and go.
And he also said, when you drop these charges.
It's not supposed to be that way, but
I already
it obviously is.
Last time you owe me $5,000, you owe me $5,000. Long as he shakes his head, I cut $25 down, $25,000. He's got that for, he said, I bet him for it, I mean, I could kill him.
And you'd be laughing, jumping up.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, if there's a way to turn it, obviously, we would have to.
All right.
Good morning, Hickory Sunrise.
Good morning. Please join with me in honor of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Joe?
Let us pray. Oh God, we thank you for a night of rest and for the gift of a new day. We ask, oh God, that as we journey this day, may we seek to serve, may we seek to share your love wherever we go. Lord, bless this club as we share in this meeting, for we pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Yes, good morning, Rotarians.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Honeycutt.
Good morning.
Mr. Honeycutt.
Good morning.
Mr. Honeycutt.
Yes, good morning. Put that, if you want to put a dollar, we got that covered. All right, several things to get started this morning. Joe, thank you for the invocation this morning. I have on the program, Steve Hunt. I don't know what happened on that here. Rick,
It's the president's fault.
all right.
Today's agenda is my responsibility, so here's.
I'll see you get changed. Okay.
No,
Last thing you said was Steve was in.
don't give him a chance, he's not gonna need it.
Jenny, we're glad to have you this morning.
I have their name tag.
Okay, any news that you have? We'll give you the floor.
You want me to?
Yeah, go ahead right now.
So I have the program in December. Oh wow, I'm praying in all of December. That should come to meetings in December. So the 18th of December is my program.
Yes.
And we do Christmas that meeting.
Oh, yeah.
So for those that are new, you'll bring a breakfast dish, have your wives, significant others, or Bojangles fix something for you to share. And then you bring a gift, generic kind of gift. It can be anything that is between $20 and $25. And then we will draw for them and steal them and have fun with that. So, that's where we are.
December
Okay.
18th. Yep.
All right, great, thank you. I need $1 just for taking up time this morning.
Take it out of my pen. All right, good
There was a
enough.
setup. Somehow I knew.
Does anyone have
Morning,
anything for the good of Rotary that you, oh, wait a minute, Steve, I'll take you first.
Cost you $1.
You know,
And I'll pay $1. I was somewhat excited to see young Mr. Klontz graduating from our fire academy.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
All right.
Yes, indeed.
Take it out of my $10.
Got it covered. All right, Lynn Seamer.
Oh, no.
All right, you have some news. All right, would you share it, please?
Well, everybody's heard me, I always like to brag about my grandson. Well, the game at Fred T. Ford last week was gonna be at East Burke last Friday, and it got rained out. So they played Monday night. Well, today, I opened up the paper, and there's his picture in the paper, getting the handoff, okay, and everything. And the article goes on to say that Corey had a hell of a game. He had 159 yards rushing and scored a touchdown, okay? All right, now here's the key. Corey hurt his shoulder 3 weeks ago. He hasn't played in 4 weeks. So,
He's doing good.
so I just want everybody to know, when you go home and read the paper, I did not pay the Hickory paper to put his name in there. I did not do that.
All right, that's good news.
He didn't even play.
All right, Lynn, that's worth $1.
Okay, that's fair.
Yes, sir.
All right, Donald?
The Rotary International Convention is gonna be in Hawaii, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and we have the president that, he wants to be able to do his duty, but he's reluctant to go all the way to Hawaii, you know, drive that far. So I'm proposing that right now, that we pay for his airfare, since you probably get a ticket to that event.
I'll drive.
A lot. No, don't drive. But he's kind of a planning kind of a guy, and so he wouldn't want to put that on your head early. So I'm proposing that we go ahead and get him a ticket while the going's good at the best rates right now.
Are you talking about a one-way ticket?
No. Like our president, and he'll come back, when he comes back, he'll have just a couple days before he's, out of office, but I propose that, I know it's hardship but for him to go all the way to Hawaii at such a time, but I think we should impose that.
Well,
Good deal.
since
I'll lend
I,
you my ID card, you can go space available.
That's it.
yeah,
Let's just consider it.
All right, we'll put it on the table to hold. I think it's a good idea.
If I can't go, I think Michael just might go in my place.
Wait a minute, he's been jumping up and down saying, I'll go. What is it?
wait. I don't want to cause any confusion, so since it's such a hardship, don't worry about it. I'll go in his place. I missed one some years ago. I'll go. You can always check me out. Just give me 2 weeks advance notice.
Give me another $1.
Take it out of my pen.
No. Take this out his team, 'cause he got one coming. I got one.
Oh, my.
I still got something to say.
Okay,
He know it.
go ahead.
Two couple of things. First, Steve, I paid Steve this morning because my brother right here called me and got me up this morning so I could get here on time. And I'm not gonna tell you, he had his wife tell me something and blame me for something that I didn't do. And I'm not gonna write that because I already paid the bill.
Right.
Okay, all right. Now that's one
So
thing.
why'd you bring it up?
Because I want them to know what a good friend you are.
No, you clearing your conscience.
Secondly, it's not my constant gift. You don't know, do you? What
You
kind?
did.
What
Whatever
kind?
you,
But anyway,
Sarah accused you of
For
something.
everybody who was here last meeting, I was watching and I was appalled and insulted at the way you people acted and finding each other, talking, laughing and carrying on like it's fun to be here. So I think every one of you should pay $1 for what you did last Wednesday. And the sweet doctor right here. she needs to pay $1 because she went to the cafeteria over here, and it's 2019. Okay? I don't know what year she went to college, but she went in the opposite direction and had the line backed up, I think for a fork. So I don't understand that. So other than that, everything.
Kids gotta go to school, gotta go to class.
Yeah, you teach them in the United States of America to go clockwise, and I don't know where she went to school, but she's going counterclockwise. And then all she said was, well, I just want to get this. And now all these nice young men just stand there.
How much money do you have left? Wow. Rick, it's all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Honeycutt. Wayne's World is always our crowning moment in our meeting. Rhino's got the program today, thank you, sir, about the foundation, but technology sometimes gets in the way. Anything you want to share at this particular time, or you want to
I don't know what
Remember that you're being
their
recorded.
HDMI plug does. It's got some priorities, and it changed my computer setting. So now my projector can't see my computer on HDMI now. And I don't know how to make
Anybody translate that?
It won't work.
So anyhow, the whole reason for this was the Rotary Foundation basics are available on Rotary Club Central. You get to that through District 7670 DAC DB, which I wanted to show you up there doing it. And the end was to get here. We'll see if we can hear it. I have to listen real close. This is the founder of Rotary establishing the Rotary Foundation. It came out of there nicely when we projected it. Anybody can go to Rotary Club Central and look at this training class on foundation.
You need a password to get into Central?
Okay, if you want to take notes, take notes. You're going to go on your internet search engine and you're going to look at Rotary District 7670. That'll take you to the home page for District 7670. At that point, you can log in as a member. At that point, you need your name that you used, your email address that you used to register for Rotary. Okay? With that done, the next thing is to enter the password. The password will be off your magazine. It is your membership number. You enter that as the password, and once you're in there, you can go to settings and you can change the password to something that you like. But at this point, we would want to get on to Rotary Club Central. If you go up to the upper right-hand corner of the screen, it'll say DAC DB Login. And to the left of that, it'll have an opportunity to click on Rotary International. When you click that, it'll take you to the Rotary International homepage. In the upper right corner of that homepage, you will find the opportunity to log in as a Rotary member. You use the same login again. Then you have all the things available to you.
You gonna send that to us in email?
Yes,
I'd love to send it to you on the screen.
Don't pressure him. He's been here since 6:30 trying to set up.
Okay. All right, we're in Rotary Learning Center now, which is one of the opportunities. I just wanted to plug it.
That would be too long.
Bless your heart.
Anyhow, one of the things you'll learn getting in right away is a refresher on the structure of Rotary. We have Rotary International, which is a fellowship of clubs, okay? And it has a benevolent arm, which is the Rotary Foundation. The Rotary Foundation, one of the reasons I got into Rotary was because when I was in Guatemala, I saw $3 million thrown away that was supposed to go to a pediatric heart surgery center, and somebody absconded with all the money, $1.5 million from Lions and $1.5 million from Rotary. Something has to be managed better than that. Well, since then and now, things have changed and a lot of controls have gotten in place. And Rotary has tried to focus on where it wanted to see its benevolence used. And if you know the 6 areas of focus, and you should, you have the Peace Initiative, which are our peace institutes. You have women and children, maternal. You have water. You have peace, policy, water. Sorry, guys. Polio Plus. What's another one?
Growing local economies.
Say again?
Growing local economies.
Yes, economies. Yes, local economies. I printed these out for you. Anyhow, I'm embarrassed. I had forgotten the 6 in order. There's one more. What is it, Michael?
It'll be on here when you say it.
They are preventing disease, providing clean water, supporting education, growing local economies.
Education. That's the one I dropped. That's the one I dropped. Sorry. Okay, so those basically, those focus areas were created so that Rotary could know that its efforts were being channeled in areas that it considered of value. The foundation has a feature that we can avail ourselves, and it's called Rotary Direct. We don't have to give all our money to Glenn and force him to write a check, to deposit it in our name, to get a credit to our name, but you can, and he's willing to do it, and he does it very well. But, as Jim and I do, you can send money every month from your checking account or from a credit card to Rotary Direct. That's not a big deal. I have the forms I can give to you, show you how to do it. The interesting one that has come out now is they have provided for direct IRA transfers. So what? No, get their money more faster. No, it's a benefit to us as individuals, because if you make an IRA direct transfer, instead of being a giving to a charity on page 3 or 4 of your IRS tax form, okay, it becomes an upfront page 1 event, which means it reduces your tax obligation dollar for dollar. For every dollar you transfer out of your IRA to this program, you get $1 off your taxable income. So it is a tax advantage to us. For those of you who don't realize it, the charity deduction is now covered by a standard override, and if you don't meet that minimum, you only get the standard anyhow. Okay, which I haven't met for 4 years. I haven't met the medical in spite of $222,000 in surgery expense. Okay, still haven't met either of those minima. So it is a real advantage to put that on page 1 of your tax return. Okay? I'm running out of thoughts. I've had this program to run through. Rotary Foundation started in 1917 at the behest of Arch Klump. And since then, and it's just been updated, we had been credited with having successfully dispersed $3 billion in that time to date. Now the total is $4 billion, and the rate at which we're going with the Polio Plus campaign, we're going to do even better. We're going to do even better. It's plugged in. Yeah. Both places.
Okay, go ahead and talk to me. You can talk
Yeah.
about it. Go ahead. I'm just looking at it.
It has on the video, you know what's aggravating about this? I did this 4 hours last night. Watched all these, projected them all, and can't scratch my nose now. I apologize.
If you want to do it at a later date, if we can get it figured out, that would be fine. I mean, I have no issue with that.
Yeah.
I mean, you spent the time on it, we should be able to see it.
Right, and it's important.
Yep.
I apologize.
It's not your fault. Technology just sometimes gets us.
And you're welcome to come to St. Luke's, we can use one of their projectors if you'd like to, and do it there, we don't have to worry about this.
Stuff.
Yeah.
That'll be
But I'm on their website, and there's, the videos are right there.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
Good stuff.
So I think if he wants to do it again, we need to let him
I think so.
have the opportunity to do it again.
Yep.
Yeah, it says,
4 hours.
Yeah, you know what, there you go.
Oh, we're up. We're
Is it
up.
working?
It's showing. Let's see if we can find our,
Nice job.
Well done, sir.
I don't think it's like that.
Hey, Steve, you're in charge of membership. Let's get focused and find somebody up for our member that knows how to do this stuff.
we got him. He's just not here. That was Phil.
He did it.
he's
Oh,
big,
dude.
brother.
He's gonna clear it up. He's gonna-
Text for
he
us.
can
Some
focus
of
on
mine
it.
is different. We got them stuff what to do. Drop it down on stuff.
You need to see our Rotarian to help him.
No, you'll be able to see it.
Friends and fellow Rotarians, our new strategic plan is an ambitious document laying out the framework for the Rotary we want to see in 10 years.
This will be covering this
Its
series of
priorities are
focus.
increasing our impact, expanding our reach, enhancing participant engagement, and increasing our benefits. In all of these priorities, our members are key. For our members are the ones who do the work that Rotary is here for and create the experiences that make Rotary what it is. We need to grow Rotary. The stronger and more diverse our membership, the more ambitious we can be in our service, and the more attractive we will be to the kinds of women and men who will bring the most to Rotary. But a strong and diverse membership does not happen by itself, nor will it happen if our approach to membership is simply exhorting our members to invite their friends. We need to focus on membership in a way that is structural, not individual. Instead of asking, who do we know, ask, who are we missing? What vocations, what organizations, what positions in the community do we need? And who are the people who fill those positions? Just as important, what value do we have to offer these people in our clubs? What do we need to do to help the people we attract to Rotary become truly engaged, valuable, and lifelong members? Membership is not just a priority in Rotary. It is Rotary. To grow Rotary, we need to give our membership the same attention we give to all our Rotary service, to all of the ways that Rotary connects the world.
Okay, that is alluding to a chair that has existed inside Rotary for 7 or 8 years now, but has not been stressed, has not been occupied at the club level. Our member Steve Hunt has graciously accepted the probable nomination to the district committee for diversity, inclusion, and equality. And it's the first time, and Tiffany's starting it this year, and it'll grow. It is an essential part of our future. Okay. See if they offer Sarge Clump next now. It should.
Far beyond the club. A contribution of $26.50 launched our foundation's endowment. A century later, we've spent more than $3 billion on humanitarian efforts worldwide.
Every Rotary project, anywhere in the world, always started out with one person who had an idea. Develop that idea by using that powerful network of Rotary to really change the world.
We are active. We are effective. We are really alive.
Our foundation has always been dedicated to improving lives. The first grant provided aid to disabled children. Today, we're on the verge of ending polio.
Lorsque je vois une mère le sourire après avoir donné le vaccin à son enfant, cela comble ma journée de joie. Parce que j'ai la conviction que cet enfant ne sera jamais handicapé.
Without Rotary, this polio campaign wouldn't be anywhere. And the incredible effort that's been made from the very beginning is really unprecedented.
In the wake of the World War, we made a global impact by funding scholarships for international study. Today, we train the next generation of global peacemakers.
The Rotary Scholarship takes people who have a desire to learn and it gives them that opportunity. Good intentions alone are not sufficient. This is one of the most important things an international organization like Rotary should do.
We all see this as a passion. We've got to do something for change. Not only for young people today, but of tomorrow.
Rotary is dedicated to personal and professional connections, so we created Group Study Exchange to build international understanding. Today, our foundation supports vocational training teams around the globe.
PTT program allows people to bring specific skills to improve another country.
Rotarians wanted to broaden their impact, so our foundation began funding their projects. A decade later, we began supporting larger projects to address health, hunger, and other humanitarian needs. Today's large-scale grants are measurable and sustainable. They allow us to tackle humanity's greatest challenges. Years ago, Arch Hump had a vision. His vision has become our legacy.
The Rotary Foundation is a great tool to
to transform the world.
That's what Rotary is all about. Vision to see, faith to believe, and courage to act.
The Rotary Foundation. We are doing good in the world. Let's continue for the next 100 years.
Is there more, Bob?
There is the one with Arch Clump on it, but this can be enough. What I have got here is, if anybody wants a copy of the focuses, areas of focus, the causes that we support, there's a printout of that. There is a printout of the two kinds of routine giving, which is Rotary Direct and IRA transfer. Then there is an explanation of what Rotary Direct is and how to sign up for it. And then there is how to do the IRA transfer. So those are available to you.
Looking at that video makes me realize that sometimes when you say you are a Rotarian, you go, okay, I'm a Rotarian, you know. But then you really dig down deep and you see what Rotary does and has done. It ought to fill us all with pride that we're part of an organization that doesn't just go to meetings.
Yeah.
You know, we try to do stuff locally, but internationally, I don't know, with polio, what the status would be if Rotary had not gotten involved. I mean, it may still have been wiped out or something, but Rotary's efforts there. And some of you, like Steve, you're an older, long-time Rotarian, I should say. I mean, I know I'm older than you are, but yes, you are. But what I remember from when we first formed the club, a responsibility of the vice president or incoming president, you know, the next person in line, was to come up with a water project. Mm-hmm. And Rotary International is real big on water projects and getting water to, and I remember, because when I was the president in waiting, so to speak, I didn't have a clue what to do. I didn't know what to do about a water project, and nothing got done. But I don't know that that's a focus of incoming presidents around the district anymore. I've never heard anything more about that. But Rotary touches a lot of lives, and it's impressive. Thank you. I appreciate that. So when, you know, you don't actually have to write a check. When you pay your dues, part of that, those dues go to the Rotary Foundation. Right. And we are a sustaining club. You put $100 a year, right?
Yes.
Then
That's right, 25
okay.
a quarter.
And so after 10 years, you've got your $1,000 in and you become a Paul Harris Fellow. How many times have you done that, Steve? How many Paul Harris Fellows? 3. 3? Okay.
It's on his port. Yeah.
And that's quite commendable. So just realize that your dues are going for some really, really good things. I have a couple of things, and if anybody else has announcements, we'll get there. I don't know if you ever read my comments on the bulletin and all, but sometimes take a look. And I actually got that from the comics this week, the Sunday Funny paper, as they call it. So take a look at that. Next week is the club assembly. We will be talking in depth as much as we can about the dance and Oktoberfest. You know, what worked, what didn't, do we do it again, that kind of stuff. All right, so that's the focus for next week. Following week, Kenny has a program, but he'd like to trade with somebody. And Kenny, I have a question for you. Tell the group why you want to trade.
Okay, I had a guest came in here one time to give a presentation, young man named Matt DeBenedetto.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And he wants to come back, but he cannot come back until after the season is over. So if I could just swap out with someone,
When would that be?
it's after Christmas. when he comes.
Okay, all right. So look at your schedules. In January, we have, I mean, I can do it, if he can come in March, fine, but,
No, they'll be back.
okay,
Back
so,
in.
you got Roger, Ron, and Walter in January. Roger, you wanna give up your time? All right, that would be, Kenny. Now, that means you're not required, Roger, but if you can do a program on the 20th, that's fine, this month.
Okay.
All right, okay, thank you. And, looking forward to that. And he's coming up, he's really been doing well, and he's gotten new sponsors and stuff, so be glad to hear from him.
Penske.
Thank you, Kenny. As far as Oktoberfest, I am meeting tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow, with all the Hickory Downtown Association folks and other people who got involved to debrief our involvement in Oktoberfest. I've already sent an email requesting that they consider that if we do it again next year, that Hickory Sunrise Rotary takes care of the pavilion area only. That's a smaller area, you don't have all our responsibilities right there. And you have either serving or tagging people, looking at IDs, one in the job. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. And I think that's all I've got. What? I don't have an update on Regina. Does anybody? I'm sorry. I'll have to call her and find out.
An email went out. An email went out proposing Cinda Bollinger for membership.
That was good.
And I will accept any negative comments now, otherwise I'm gonna go ahead and order her badge and enter her on the record.
One thing,
Yes, sir.
pronouncing her last name, Bollinger or Bollinger, which is it?
Yes. I think it's Bollinger.
I think it is. I said Bollinger, and I think it's
I
Bollinger.
think it's Bollinger. We need to make sure, Steve needs to know, because 2 weeks from today, we will have the formal induction of our newest member. And Steve will handle that for us.
I'm gonna add her to the record as of today.
Yeah, please do.
And it would be nice if we had one to join with her. In other words,
Get our butts in
Get
gear.
get busy.
Yeah, yeah.
and where's my brick, Mr. President?
I give up. Where is it? Who has it?
I got it.
Okay.
It's
What do you
here.
mean you got it?
He's got it right there. Put it right there in that drawer.
Why, you're not supposed to put it in that drawer, you're supposed to take it with you.
I did. He did.
But he brought,
Put it up.
didn't you bring a guest?
No.
No. Never mind. If he has to think about it.
A membership chair remembers.
Yes, Dr. Wimberly.
I know we always talk about this, but do we have a projected goal that we want to reach as members?
Well, now, if you would get on Rotary Club Central and look at the club's objectives, you would know the answer to that. And the answer is yes.
Well, I have not been on Rotary Club Central, and no, as a group, I don't think we've sat down and say, let's grow by so many, but I'd like 3 new members this year if possible.
Because sometimes when you're an educator and you teach people, you teach different people in different ways, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Different learning
If a
style.
student asks a question, that's a compound question.
I'd like us to grow by 3, and Cinda's the first one during my tenure here, so,
So we're trying to do at least 3 per year.
yeah, at least for this year, and we
This
may
year,
upgrade it next year.
they are reset annually, all our club objectives.
So who is our president-elect?
Brian,
Ryan McCreary. And he
Well, you can tell Steve.
and I have spoken, he still thinks he can do it, but I will triple check to make sure now that he's not at the college and has a principalship, that might make it a little bit more difficult.
He has less discretionary time.
Yeah, the time becomes a little more difficult. So be thinking, I'll find out as quick as I can, make him have the commitment. Ron Down sent me an email. He's had missed for a few weeks, but he's going to be coming back, so it's not an issue there. Regina will check on her health. Nancy Toy is on call, but other than that, the membership is pretty healthy. I think we're doing a good job, and we will continue moving on and upward. Anything else for the good of Rotary?
Mr. President, I think we need to, I said we were going to fine these folks $5 if they didn't have the brick.
You did say that.
Yeah, we said that as a club, and I haven't seen the brick, so are we going to enforce that, or are we just going to talk about it?
Well, we've gotten slack in that recently, the last couple of years, but.
Constructive possession.
Yes, constructive possession.
Let me have it, Wayne.
Okay, Richard wanted to be sure it was secure. He's asked me to keep it in here. And so here is the brick,
So,
and he has it.
Now he has actual possession.
Yes.
so it's still your responsibility to bring a guest in.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and when you
Yes, I'm
do,
a pass it over to.
then,
Bring it.
Mr. Hunt,
Of the things we think, say, and do.
is it the truth?
Is fair to all concerned. Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will it be
Beneficial to all concerned.